Today we are observing error page attributes in a page directive tag of a JSP. So what is the first of all we'll understand what is the need of an error page. Whenever a web resource program or a web applications throws a technical error messages like 404 not found or resource not found or web resource not found, what the end user will understand. Maybe a null pointer exception. Maybe a request of attributes is not matching to the parameter names or any technical errors. If I show those technical errors or server error messages to the end user, will end user understand those technical messages? No, absolutely no. So it is always recommended to develop a website or a web application or an ERP and their web resource programs by keeping in mind that layman or non-technical guys are going to use that whole web applications. That means display those non-technical messages when exceptions are raised in web resource programs of web applications. So to achieve this, I need to configure a error pages. So the page, what is the meaning of error page? The page that executes only the page that executes only when exceptions are raised. When exceptions are raised in other web resource programs. In other web resource programs of a web application. Of a web application is called as or is known as error page. Error page. Okay. The page that executes only when exceptions are occurred or raised in other web resource programs of a application is called as error page. So error pages are not there to catch and handle the errors or exceptions. Errors or exceptions. They are helpful display. They are helpful to show or display the guiding messages whenever an exception is raised in the web application. Fine. So there are two different types of error pages. One is logical error page and one is global error page. So there are two types of error pages. What are those? The first is logical error page and second is global error page. What is the meaning of logical error page? It will be useful for specific to that single web page only. So the logical error page, or this will be useful when useful for a specific to or means exactly specific to each JSP page. Okay, a separate JSP page. If an exception is raised, I'll create an error page. Okay, what is the meaning of global? If you have 100 JSP web pages and whenever an exception is raised, I wish to create a global. So all will use that single web resource program as an error page and will call whenever, will execute whenever the errors are occurred. It may be any types of errors that will act as a global. Whereas logical error page for that specific web page, for that specific JSP, if an error occurs, I'll configure this is the error page. Okay. Whereas global error page deals with the for all the web resource program of a web application. So let me add one more point. So I can configure using error page error page is error page is error page. I can configure this logic error page by using error page and is error page attributes of which tag? Tell me. Tell me which tag? Page directive. So can you please tell me the symbolic notations? At the rate page. And here you have to add the attribute. I'm adding here ATTR only. Tag ends with the modulo greater than. Okay. I hope you are clear. Now, when to use global error page? Uh, this will be useful for useful or common to all the JSP programs of a web application. So where do I configure? I can configure using web.xml. Web.xml file. Okay. So let's see an example application on error page configuration. Example JSP web application on it. So is it done? Let me draw a flow chart or diagram where whenever an error occurs, it will, instead of showing the technical error messages, it will show a error or means a proper guiding messages. Nothing. You need to create two different web pages. One web pages contain logical uh, code that will generate an error, and once an error occurs, you need to forward that request to the next web page, which is an error page. Okay, and you need to make second error page as a is error page true. Okay, so